Cities all over America, such as Atlanta and Chicago, just to name a few, are joining together in a new movement they calling Spend in the Black. And basically, what Spend in the Black is prioritizing black businesses and institutions be patronized more so than ever before. And I love to see this, but the news media is calling it, a movement. And I think this thing should be adopted into normal protocol in FBA society. This thing should be edged in stone. It should be, second nature to us. It should be a no-brainer that we support black-owned businesses first and foremost, because in us doing so, this is how you lock down control of power. Everything we need in terms of our day-to-day needs, in terms of goods and services, we should be able to find them in the FBA community. If you want something to eat, brother Bob down on the end of the corner, he got a soul food restaurant. If sisters need their hair and nail done, they know Sister Keisha around the corner, got a hair and nail shop. This is how you really take that lockdown, control of power, and keep that black dollar in, black communities, which means benefiting black people, and not being extracted from your community by the dominant white society and non-black folks who 9 times out of 10 move into the black community with this negative disposition, secret hate and vitriol, to where though they don't even like black people most of the time, but yet they'll sit up and take the black dollar. Damn that, we got to control our own narrative, and, supporting black owned businesses is, an untalked about form of resistance that need to be talked about, truth be told, a little bit more. So I got the audio and the video of this spending the black thing that's going on, this movement they calling it, but I'm calling it normal protocol because that's what it should be adopted into our normal protocol. And this particular one is, happening in Chi-Town, Chicago. So salute to the FBA brothers and sisters up in, Chicago. And we're going to walk through and talk about this thing how we normally do. But I love to see the new resurgence in FBA cultural pride we got going on where, brothers and sisters is really putting on for the lineage and representing, foundational Black American society, first and foremost to the T. And, it's an uptick in, cultural pride of the foundational Black American. And I attribute this to foundational Black Americans, for the most part, being on code, heavily on code, more so than what we've been in a long time. And let's get into this video, family. Fair use.
The movement is called Spend in the Black, and it's happening in cities like Atlanta, Houston, Dallas, and New York. Here in Chicago, community leaders plan to resurrect the black dollar this weekend, turning
The black dollar ain't never been dead. It just gotta strategically start being used, to where though we supporting black owned businesses first and foremost. If you need something, before you run out to, Walmart and these big wig, companies, think of where you can get that, from a local black business maybe. And let's continue.
75th and King Drive into the bustling business corridor it once was. Chicago's 6th Ward will be the epicenter of what black leaders hope to be a resurgence of booming business, hope, and pride. Reverend Dr. Charlie Dates and Alderman William Hall have teamed up for an economic movement called Spend in the Black, encouraging everyone in the Chicagoland area, regardless of race, to spend their dollars at 75th and King Drive.
Dog groomers, service providers, some of the best culinary excellence. You're going to see flower shops all lined up down 75th Street. Because this is what 75th Street used to be. This was the Mecca.
The two community leaders have invited dozens of black-owned businesses to set up shop along 75th Street. They're also encouraging businesses that are already here to take part in this call to action.
We are going to have more black vendors in a single concentration than anywhere else you will find in Chicagoland.
The owners of the Woodshop Art Gallery, which has been around for more than 50 years, say Saturday's event can't come soon enough. They've seen a drastic decline in business over the years, and they're hoping Spend in the Black will be the beginning of something great.
It was just vibrant, colorful, and it was people of our community supporting businesses that were ran by us. So to bring awareness back.
Truth be told, I'd rather spend my money first and foremost with people of my community that look like me, that really value my service and really want my service, because 9 times out of 10, these people that we go into these big wig companies controlled by the dominant white society, these Arabs and these Asians, so on and so forth, these people ain't got no love or respect for our people. They, got a negative disposition 9 times out of 10 for our people. And let's continue.
Back to 75th Street, it means a lot.
Alderman Hall says this is the restoration his ward needs.
We want people to look at some of the business.
And despite what I almost forgot to add, and despite what, foolish Tether Wallow was trying to say about black owned businesses being a hustle, this, that, and the third, he can miss me with that because he ain't nothing but a coonish Tether, out there, putting on for the dominant white society because he in the pockets of the white power structure. But let's continue.
Businesses and say, I want my storefront here. We simply do not need to.
Because us supporting black owned businesses, this is how we lock down control of power, because if we don't support our businesses, no one else will. And supporting black owned businesses is, critical and crucial for our survival in FBA society. But let's continue.
To be reliant on the big box stores who, quite frankly, do not meet our demands, who do not respect our dignity, who pull out of our neighborhoods at the first sign of trouble.
That's what I'm saying. These people will come in the black community and, set up shop and extract that black dollar. But at the end of the day, they don't rock with black people.
Or at an administration's rejection of DE&I.
See, I like, the black-owned business thing, us getting out there, patronizing and support more black-owned business. I think it's beautiful and, it needs to be adopted in the normal protocol. But when they come with this DEI, it's always got to be, attached to, some kind of, broader agenda, coming from the Democrats or the Republicans. I don't rock with that. I'm for neither party. I'm about black empowerment first and foremost, because the whole DEI thing, to me, that sounds like, wanting inclusion into, the dominant white society, when we could just build our own businesses and institutions and, instead of wanting to see that day table, make our own table. You know what I mean? Because the DEI thing, for the most part, it never benefited foundational black Americans, but other than him slipping that little talking point in there, I agree with, the black owned business thing to a T. But let's continue.
Rather, we can empower ourselves by spending our money with our business owners who will not flee us, but will care for us with the profit that they make.
Spend in the Black is happening in several cities across the country, but these community leaders hope Chicago
and salute to all those FBA brothers and sisters who are participating in this Spend in the Black, you know what I mean, and weaponizing that black dollar strategically. Because she said earlier, the black dollar, was resurrected. The black dollar ain't never been dead to be resurrected. The black dollar just got to be, more strategically weaponized to serve our people in, foundational black American society and stop, being, extracted from our community. We just got to start doing more businesses with business with black owned businesses, truth be told.
Will show up and show out.
You will see business owners not only earning the trust of their community, but you'll also see the community getting blessed in significant ways.
Spend in the Black is happening this Saturday, beginning at 75th and King Drive from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
The Spend in the Black is happening this weekend, family. But let's continue.
All are welcome to attend, and shoppers will also be eligible to win $1,000 every hour. We do have more details on our news app and website.
Yeah, but I love this. It's a beautiful thing, because I prioritize on my platform, personally, the support of black businesses. Whenever I get a chance, or find out about a new black business, I bring it to the family's attention. People that are truly tapped in with my channel could, be a testament to that, but I love the resurgence and, foundational black American cultural pride for the lineage. Like I said, and I attribute this to foundational black Americans heavily being on code. But in closing, I want to say support on black owned businesses first and foremost, because if we don't, now the damn person will. Just my thoughts on the matter. Peace.